to the Whiskey Vault.
I'm Daniel.
Rex.
I fell asleep there for a second.
Whiskey.
Are we back now? That's it.
Whiskey
Yeah.
in the vault. Glasses,
this
pouring, smelling, drinking, words, comments.
This is a
toast.
gift from John and
Spoiled
Danny.
the whole episode.
Johnny and yeah, spoiler alert. John and Danny Mueller, magnificent bastards.
John and Danny Mueller, magnificent bastards. It's the two people thing.
That throws you?
Yeah.
Because you just called them Don and Janny.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I really did. I did. It's
This is a
John and Danny Mueller, you magnificent
Bastard.
May I recommend Janny though?
Yeah. That's your celebrity name.
Janny.
Yeah, Janny. All right. So recognize this front. Does that look like anything to you?
Oh, hold on now.
Yeah,
no,
right?
The Jepsons, they're
The
notorious.
Malort.
Just give me, let me have a moment. Like 3
Yeah.
seconds. I
can't do it.
I could have gotten credit for remembering
You remembered Malort?
Jepson's Malort. Yes.
Wow, just because it was so dramatic.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's one that separates.
So Daniel likes to look like he knows all things. Tell us what Malort is, Daniel.
I don't know what's in Malort. I just know I don't like it.
Well, allow me to explain.
Really don't like it.
Allow me to explain what Malort is.
And go.
Hey Siri, what's Malort?
Yeah. So these. Oh, it heard you. You have your voice thing turned on. Mine's turned off.
Hey Siri, what is Malort? Not
Malort
Malord.
is a term for an Englishman, especially
Malord. All right.
Ignorant
So
slut.
these are those guys.
Yes.
But now they made a bourbon.
Okay.
And they used everything almost the same. So it looks like the same thing, but just as bourbon instead of, and it's a blend of straight whiskeys.
Yep.
Because it's a blend of a mix of straight whiskeys from two different distilleries.
Yeah.
So they bought barrels from MGP, the 21% rye, the same
Yeah.
one that we're using for Eleanor, and they bought barrels from OZ Tyler Distillery in Kentucky.
Okay.
And they blended them together after they were 4 years old.
Yeah.
And this is the product. Now, this is my favorite interview someone did with them, said, aren't you worried that people are going to see that and not even realize it's whiskey? Or they're going to think it's Malort flavored whiskey or something? Yeah. And he was like, nah, f them. That was basically it.
Yeah.
He was like, if the label turns them off,
You know what?
not our problem.
That's the kind of response that could only come from somebody that has the balls
And somebody who
to
makes
make
Malort.
something like Malort and
Totally.
sell it. Just sell it with a straight
Just
face.
sell it. Yeah.
Somebody has to go basically approaching the market and goes,
Yeah.
here's your Malort.
There's a series of YouTube channel, or not channels, but videos
Yeah.
of just people trying Malort.
Oh, I know. It's one of these drinks to where I absolutely I'm not pouring it to relax and go exploring, but it's so dramatic. I adore the fact that it exists.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can have those really ridiculous reactions, and it's not just a boring right down the middle of the road, the traditional, the expected. It's just so weird.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I understand, there's some tradition behind Malort. I mean, it's been around a while.
Yeah, there is in Chicago.
Yeah. It's very much a Chicago
Now,
thing.
this-
I'm getting like a breadiness to this.
This is the opposite of that. This is a very grain forward bourbon.
They're not getting crazy with their bourbon here. At the same time, they didn't go crazy with sweetness, which is very commonly done. They should go overboard on sweetness because people like sweet things.
This reminds me of those MGP barrels when we got them in before they sat in Texas. Like that super herbal, super corn grain forward.
It is like an herbalness, a little bit of a sweetened tea, some breadiness character to that. Yeah, it's nice. And then the proof is going to be in like the 40s or something. It's 50% ABV.
You would never guess. It tastes so soft.
Yeah.
Dare I say, smooth.
You guys
Oh, I dare.
Yeah, same thing.
So I would have compared this to yesterday's stuff on the budget line with Sheffield, who's also in the same market, Chicago. Man, I actually prefer this one because it's less sweet and more herbal and corn.
Yeah.
And on bourbon, I like that.
I do too. And
Like yesterday's Sheffield was way sweeter.
Is that swinging around in like the same tier of budget? And
I
whatnot?
think it's the same price range.
Okay, because again, we're in
And they're
like,
both in Chicago.
kind of like the entry level price point bourbon, where it's not bottom of the barrel. You're not scraping the floor with the proof, but you're getting some nice bourbon flavors that you've had in many bourbons before, but it's not doing something so traditional that I feel like I've had that bourbon 50 times before, just with a different label on it.
I'm not seeing a price.
The thing that's going to be a little bit more interesting of an angle on this particular bourbon is that kind of soft bready quality.
Yeah.
That herbal tea sweetness.
Yep.
And yeah, that's nice.
It is exactly in the same price range.
Okay, it's still very bourbony, but there are a certain set of flavors that are just like, this is just so traditionally classic bourbon. Everybody's doing these flavors. Still traditional. I've had them before, but I haven't just been beaten over the head with them.
Right.
It's still nice. I dig it.
This is going to be, in my mind, an example of a whiskey that's like a locally favored musician. Where it's like, look, you're going to have a great career as a musician in Austin.
Oh, I get what you
You're not
mean.
going to be famous
Right.
around the U.S. or the world,
Right.
but in Austin you'll be king, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think with the rise of craft doing all these various bourbons and sourcing bourbons, it's like their idea of taking on makers or their idea of taking on Old Forester, it's like, it's not going to happen.
Right.
But if your idea is to be like, really drive into the local category and
Yeah.
just be like, this is ours.
Now, if you're
then
gonna take on a big brand
fine.
like that, right? You either need to have like a huge head start, like the big brands, most of the big brands have,
Right.
or you need to have like hundreds of millions of dollars of marketing, volume, production, and distribution behind you just to flood the market.
and you need a product that is actually uniquely good.
no, that helps.
Like, it can't just be like another bourbon that tastes just like it. Doesn't matter how much money you spend, you're only going to get so far with that.
That helps, but I think in the world of whiskey, the three things that are the most powerful are basically like a couple of generations worth of head start. That's irreplaceable.
Yeah.
2, the money to push that brand out there.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can have like the most amazing whiskey in the world. It's going to be a long slog if you don't have any like people and awareness and marketing behind that before it starts to get appreciated, experienced, and understood in the marketplace.
Right.
And then it just needs to be a good quality product.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Why do I always think they're in front of a green screen?
It does look like that. Though I've watched our episodes, and I think maybe, what is that thing that you call in cameras where things up close are really, really pristine and things slightly behind are like Gaussian blur?
It's the depth of field.
Depth of field.
Right.
I don't know any of these words, right? Talk music, I can give you all the lingo.
Yeah.
Talk camera, I can't do it.
So, I mean, we could put some depth of field on there, but then you can't really see, like, there's a little bit of depth of field.
I wonder if that's where your brain then thinks this is fake because we're clear and this is pretty clear. You think that's what it is?
No, it's the lighting difference.
Oh, lighting difference between the two of us
Yeah.
and the world that's
We
back
have
there.
lighting for us that's
Yeah.
really not falling on much beyond us.
Yeah.
So if we...
I thought the same thing. Like, I know where we are, and sometimes I watch the channel, I'm like, wow, that's a really amazing...
Or a room with this many whiskeys couldn't possibly exist.
Yeah, there's no way. Reminds me of that video that Ryan, what's his name? Deadpool. Mm-hmm. Ryan Reynolds did recently about his gin, and he says, he backs away from him,
Yeah.
and he's on a set that literally is a recreation of his house. Like, he's done videos in his house that is a background, and then now he's doing the same videos, but it's a set they created to look like his house.
The thing about green screen that it really bothers people is whenever it's done poorly and people try to make it feel like it's real. The thing is,
It's that uncanny valley problem.
I've seen people that have done green screen well, and you cannot tell, and it looks amazing. But it's a specific skill set to make green screen actually look like it's really good, and nobody ever says a damn thing about it because they can't tell.
No, that's like the best soundman in the world is invisible. You only think about the sound guy
Right.
when sound's going wrong,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, a good sound guy
Yeah.
doesn't exist.
No. But there are two uses for green screen. Whenever people are asking me about video stuff, just don't do green screen.
Yeah.
Unless you want it to look like really lean into the ham-fisted,
Power
cheesy,
Rangers.
cheesy, bad, whatever. If you just want it to look intentionally just janky because it's kind of funny, then that's fine. You can do green screen. 99% of the time, don't do green screen because it's a very learned skill. You have to do that a lot of times before you get good at it. And then who wants to be good at green screen? Right? Unless you're making Hollywood films. But they got like the motion tracking camera. Have you ever seen however they made like The Hobbit?
Yeah, where it's like 80% of the acting environment is
Yeah.
a green cloth.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, and then you have like the guy with the shouldery camera, and they have these, motion, these anchor points, so they can move the camera around, and the entire environment in post-production is, hi, it's a whiskey channel. How you doing?
What?
Mike Hawk. I love the show. I've been binging from the beginning for the past few months, and I recently came across the Diamondback Texas whiskey episode. Any chance you'll ever disclose all that went into making that whiskey?
I finally will. So ages ago, I made this mix. I gave one to Jared because it was
who's
there's
Jared?
a friend of ours who wrote a screenplay, and it got turned into an actual movie, and it was screened at like South by and things like that. And in the movie, they drink a whiskey, and he wanted a whiskey that they could drink that we had made. So I blended a whiskey just for the movie, and then we blended a whole bunch of bottles of it to give to financial backers and things like that.
Yeah.
I have a bottle. It's still really good. Gave it to Jared. It was the first thing I ever gave Jared, and he was like, "Oh, yeah, that's really hefty." He was like, "Oh, it's really aggressive." So the blend was 47% blue corn bourbon. Like from Balcones. And then 47% Cahuilla 12, and the remaining 6% Octomore. That's what it was. And so you got this aggressively woody but sweet bourbon with this classic blend profile Islay with this really charred smoked barbecue Islay, and it was good.
Ice really takes out about 80% of the flavor of this whiskey. I was a little hopeful because it's like doing the 50% ABV, 100 proof. Maybe 100 proof stands up to it. Often bourbons can stand up well to ice, but not this one.
Not the budget ones.
Not this one, and even at like a slightly higher proof, it just makes it kind of a generalized sweetness with the tiniest bit of cinnamon back there. Here's to fighting, stealing, and drinking.
If you fight me, fight for a friend.
You steal me, you steal your liver. Sorry.
And if you drink, may you drink with us.